Paternity fraud, parents standing 10 toes down on their lies, taking lies and skeletons to the grave. And our case study for this one is going to be R&B singer Kirk Franklin. Let's get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
God forgive me. Kirk's mama is trifling than a motherfucker. You waited 53 years to still not tell your son that you knew who the fuck his daddy was and you just didn't say it for your own selfish ass reasons. Now this man went his whole damn life, without knowing who his daddy was. They found out the man lived down the street from his recording studio. Mama Kirk Franklin, you need your motherfucking ass whooped. I also thought it was really wild to request a second DNA test, and it came out saying the same shit the first test said. Like, woman, stop fucking playing in people's face. That is so messed up.
All right, let me tell you something. I really need y'all to support me on this one because this is my second time recording this. YouTube hit me with a strike for copyright, so I had to redo this and use some different content. So you got the gist of the Kirk Franklin. I got another random. We're going to listen to what he got to say, and then we're going to dig into it.
Paternity testing. Let's go ahead and get on this other fun one. Let's have some fun this week and just figure we go ahead and hit the gas before we hit the weekend. Goodness, man, paternity testing. It absolutely needs to be a mandatory thing. Every child that happens to be born should be tested to see as to who the father happens to be. Honestly, paternity fraud that women happen to commit and all the money that they happen to steal and the lives that they ruin. Goodness, men that aren't the father of their children thinking that they've been raising kids that were theirs for years. For all their childhood lives, and then they become adults, and then a car accident happens, or some horrible incident, and the child happens to need a blood donation or an organ donation or something, and the family member that was supposed to be able to do so cannot because the father isn't actually and it's a really heartbreaking moment. It's heartbreaking for the child, it's heartbreaking for the father, and the mom's just kind of sitting there like, well, whatever, and there's no real repercussions in this kind of situation. And I mean, in the overall narcissistic nature in which that women happen to carry themselves and thinking that there need to be no repercussions for that is downright criminal. But in Paris, for example, it's they outlaw paternity testing because the percentage is somewhere upwards of 50% that every child born into the home, 1 in 2 does not belong to the father. Over here, it's 1 in 3. I'm pretty sure we're somewhere along the lines of where Paris is at. In order for men to change their minds on all these manosphere talking points, this needs to change. Y'all have a good day. Peace.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let me give you a little more on the backstory. So Kirk Franklin got a documentary that he did, and basically he let cameras. I don't know why people. Anyway, he let cameras follow him and his mama on a journey of reconciliation. Right. So there was like some rumors or whatever, I guess, in the neighborhood that the man he thought his father, who he thought was his father, was not. That man is deceased. Okay, the person who he did not know was his actual real father, like she said, lived up the street. Right. Okay. So I guess the man heard the rumors and he just like did a DNA, like, here, take it, gave it to Kirk and them, like, look, do what you do with it. I don't know. I heard the rumors too. Here, do what you think is right. So Kirk swabbed up, and the actual father name is Rick Hubbard. So come to find out, the man who lived down the street, who lived down the street is Kirk Franklin's biological father. The man his mama thought or paternity frauded, saying was his father, obviously was never his father and is deceased. So could you imagine? Put yourself in Kirk Franklin's shoes. You 53 years old. You some big, well-known, renowned actor, gospel singer, writer, producer, whatever. Whether you get down with his music or not, I know I sure don't. But that aside, at 53, you found out, wait a minute, my daddy ain't my daddy? Wait a minute. So his mama name is Deborah, and in the documentary, she basically standing 10 toes down like, no, what did I tell you? She even put it on her dead mama or something, and I'm like,
do I smell a whore?
Like, why on earth would you say that knowing good? And you know what? And I'm so mad that YouTube took down the video that I had did, because he told his mama, like, okay, let me slow down, because this bothers me, you know what I'm saying? Let me calm it down. So his mama, like, I don't believe it. I ain't buying it. Basically, I know I ain't a hoe. So they take a second DNA. Obviously, the second DNA says the exact same thing the first DNA test says. And do you know she still would not budge? So they like at a conference room sitting on the other ends of the table. And he basically like, look, I just need you to keep it real with me. Just have some accountability. Just stop capping and tell me what it really is, because obviously it's on paper, but I just want to hear it out your mouth. I just want to hear you say it, and then we can move on. He told her flat out, ain't no prayer, ain't no joke, ain't no kiki ha ha. Nothing is going to rectify this. And I didn't confirm this, but I heard that they already had like a strange relationship. Like he hadn't talked to his mom in 20 years anyway. It was probably a whole lot of mess and dicey stuff going on. Some shady stuff. And his mama like, nah, like if I don't basically say the words, you gonna cut me off. And he was like, we done. What's left to say? You can't give me this. Like you can't just, I'm 53, man. You can't just keep it a buck like y'all generation. So let's speak on the elders. And I don't like to really speak on the elders like that because, I try to be respectful, but we're gonna keep it a buck. It's a lot of elders out here who did a lot of foul shit, and the science and technology wasn't there at the time. So a lot of them took stuff to their grave or think that they can still take stuff to their grave. But this technology out here, and it's shaking up worlds and families and households because his mama started bawling, crying, and y'all already know I rock with KS, so I'm thinking, oh, shame, insult, guilt need to be right. Because what you crying for? You know you slept with more than one person in that same, what would you say, menstrual cycle, or that same month, or however it go. You slept with two different people unprotected back to back. But you crying. Kirk ain't crying at the table in that conference room. You sitting up here crying, Deborah. Then you got the nerve to want to swear on somebody's dead grave, and this man sitting here with 2 DNA tests, 2 of them showing that the man down the street, Rick Hubbard. So they show the Rick Hubbard guy, like, he apologized to Kirk. He started crying. He like, I didn't know. And Kirk sitting there like, I mean, man, it ain't your fault, but I ain't got no bond with you. I'm 50 some years old, still trying to figure out who I am, where I come from, all of this. And my mama could have been squashed all this, but now she got too much pride. She got too much ego. She an effing narcissist. And she sitting up here talking about how she won't lie. She wouldn't lie to him. No, bitch, you lied. You lied and you keep lying. And that's the problem. You can't just keep it real. And you know what we need to do to Mama Franklin?
I'm gonna tie your old monkey ass up.
All that nonchalant, narcissistic behavior, paternity fraud, and that's why I think it's Tennessee. That's why states now are starting to say we're doing mandatory DNA at birth because we can't keep having this. And again, I love my ladies out there, but if you have a problem with this, it's kind of an indictment on you, right? There shouldn't be no problem. It's like taking a lie detector test. You ain't got nothing to worry about. It's like somebody accused you of stealing, like my mama used to say, if you ain't did nothing wrong, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But so many people have problems with this, and I get it. I got skeletons. We all done did effed up stuff in the past, right? Let's keep it a buck that we're not proud of, but it's like, at some point in life, you have to take accountability. Like, accountability is pretty much the word of the year, right? For 2023, accountability. And Mama Franklin, she just ain't want to take no accountability. So people just feel like
She belongs to the streets.
Again, I don't want to talk, too reckless or whatever, or be disrespectful to an elder. I do believe in respecting my elders, but I also believe in keeping it real. And you got to keep it real and say, you have traumatized this man. Now, I'm not a big Kirk Franklin fan, but I've seen some of his movement and gyrating and dance techniques and the way he dressed. Enough stuff to know that he may have some underlying issues if you can read between the lines. So and I know he's a married man with kids. What do that mean? I just know that when I looked into this, some people were saying like, I guess they really like, watch him and his content. And they're like, you can tell that this was like the clue, the missing piece of the puzzle. Like, okay, this is why stuff going on with him. This is why something wrong with him. Y'all, we need our fathers in the home. Regardless of how your mama feel about your father, you need your father. I mean, you got people out here whose fathers are drunks, who are crackheads, who are bums, and they still love their father. That's their father. And you can't rob a child or a man of the right to know who his biological father is. And then once you're like, back is against the wall and you're pinned in a corner, you still can't even keep it a buck. You still won't even keep it real, Deborah, to be like, you know what? The man down the street is your father. He know that's his father. He just wanted to hear it from you. And I think I'm telling y'all, if you watch it for yourself, it'll damn near make you want to cry. It's so sad just to see how arrogant and smug she is with it. And she got like her sister or a girlfriend who kind of like, he just want the truth, trying to like, Like, girl, just spit it out. Like, don't you care more about keeping your fake ass reputation in a lie than your relationship with your son? Because he told her flat out, if you don't keep it real with me and say the words out your mouth, we are done. It's over. And she chose to walk away from her son. I'm like, oh my God. Like some of these elders out here, some of these old heads, you just can't tell them nothing. You could be right on everything. And the older generation just don't want to listen to the younger generation. They're so smug. They just think they know everything. And of course, it's not all the elders. Okay, get out your feelings. I ain't talking about your mama or your granny. I'm just saying, like, in general, if I had to stereotype, the elders do not want to listen to us, but they gonna listen to that goddamn DNA. Because Kirk Franklin mama got exposed, y'all, and I'm not enjoying it. Like I said, it actually made me feel terrible watching this man's pain, watching him, sit through this. But then again, he the one invited the cameras in. Why would you? Who would want the world? That's like going on Maury. Who would want the world to know how your mama was out here, that you ain't know who your daddy? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think this is something that I would want cameras following me and behind, but some people, they love that spotlight and that limelight. They'll put all their business out there for the world to see. But anyway, I'm not gonna victim shame, so we're gonna keep it moving off of that portion of it. But leave me a comment, let me know. I really wish I could play it for y'all, but like I said, YouTube shut me down. So if y'all could please help me watch the video, push this, because again, this is my second time having to re-record, and that's another reason why I didn't drop enough content this week, because I had to redo. It's just a crazy week for me. So I apologize to my regulars, those of you who rock with me, but I'm definitely gonna get back on and have the content coming. And your girl went back to work too. I had to pull them scrubs out, get my jersey back. I thought I had my jersey retired up on the rafters, but I had to pull the scrubs back out. Your girl working a little bit part-time. Y'all know I don't do too much part-time. But so it's been a crazy week, but I just want to reassure you guys that I'm still on it. We still trying to grow around here. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to everybody who's been rocking with me my day one.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.